Good afternoon, students. Today we are going to do the second poem of the book Flamingo. The name of the poem is An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum, and the poet is Stephen Spender. Sir Stephen Harold Spender was an English poet, a novelist, and an essayist. He usually wrote on the themes of social injustice and class struggle. He was the poet laureate of poetry in the United States. He wrote this poem in the year 1964. He expresses his ideological positions on government, economics, and education. The poem highlights the social injustice prevailing at that time in the world. It resonates the poet's political views and brings forth the difficulties of social discrimination and class inequalities faced by the kids in the slum. Now I'll take you through the poem and explain it to you stanza by stanza. An elementary school classroom in a slum. Far, far away from gusty waves, these children's faces, like rootless weeds, the hair torn round their pallor. Now, in the first stanza, the poet describes the kind of children that are there in the elementary school classroom in a slum. They are far, far away from gusty waves. Gusty waves are very strong and powerful and energetic waves. But these children are far from it. Why far? Because it indicates that they are not gusty at all. They don't have energy, they don't have strength. And their faces are like rootless weeds. He uses a simile here and compares their dry faces to the rootless weeds that are also dry. The rootless weeds are in the garden. They're dry grass or plants that are useless. They are usually plucked by the gardener and thrown away because they are unwanted. These children are also like rootless weeds because society and the government has also kept them in the slums and forgotten them there. Their hair is torn, is scattered round their faces, pallor as faces. It indicates that they don't even have the basic amenities like soap, water, comb, and so they look very shabby and dirty and untidy and ungroomed. The tall girl with her weighed down head, the paper seeming boy with rat's eyes, the stunted, unlucky heir of twisted bones reciting a father's gnarled disease. There's a tall girl in the class. Her head is bent down as if she has a lot of weight on her shoulders. It indicates the burden of poverty, the burden of studies, and the burden of responsibility at a very young age. There's a boy who is paper seeming, thin like the paper. He uses a metaphor here to say how malnourished the child is, how skinny he is, and he has rat's eyes. He uses another metaphor. The rat's eyes look very big in his small body, and so does the eyes of this child. He's scared, he's starved, he's searching here and there, just like the rat. Then there are children who are stunted, who have not grown fully because of being malnourished. Then there are children who are very unlucky heirs. Heirs are those who get the property of parents or grandparents after their death. But these heirs are unlucky. Why? Because their parents, their grandfathers, did not pass on property, wealth, or land to them. What did they pass to them? They passed their diseases to them. And now these children are reciting, repeating the diseases of their parents and grandparents. So it suggests whole generations having a gene of diseases. At the back of the dim class, one unnoted, sweet and young, his eyes live in a dream of squirrel's game in tree room other than this. Now at the back of the class there's another young boy. He's lost in his own world. He's dreaming. He's dreaming of positive things. He's looking where the squirrel is hiding its nuts. So this suggests positivity and a dream where he thinks of something happy, something good. On sour cream walls, donations. Shakespeare's head, cloudless at dawn, civilized dome riding all cities. belled, flowery, tireless valley, open-handed map, awarding the world its world. Now he describes the classroom. He says that the walls of the classroom are sour cream. Sour cream is pale yellow, dirty yellow, and so are the walls of the class. Probably no donations have come in for them to paint it. But donations in the form of charts and pictures are there. They are on the wall. There's the picture of Shakespeare suggesting education, literacy, literature. And then there are civilized domes and monuments suggesting great architecture. And there are pictures of the Tyrolese Valley, which is very beautiful and heavenly. All these things, the charts, the pictures, suggest that there is progress, there is development, and there is education. It's like an open handed map, and they're showing, awarding the world, their world, which is full of development and progress and education. Yet, for these children, these windows, not this map, their world, where all their futures painted with fog, a narrow street sealed in with a lead sky, far, far from rivers, capes, and stars of words. The poet says, but for these children, these windows, the slum, are their map. It is their world. It is not the pictures that you're showing. Their pictures are a contrast to their real world. Their real world is pathetic, where they're deprived of all these things. Their future is painted with fog. That means that the future is totally unclear, uncertain. It's like a narrow street, meaning that it has very little opportunities for them. And it is sealed with a black lead sky. That means their situation is going from bad to worse. And it is far, far from the rivers, and the education, the development, the progress that is being shown in the charts and pictures. Surely Shakespeare is wicked. The map a bad example, with ships and sun and love tempting them to steal, for lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes from fog to endless night. Now the poet is angry here. He's aggressive. He says, why are you showing them pictures of Shakespeare? It is very wicked, wrong of you to do this. The map, the charts and all that you're showing of progress and development, it is bad. Because you are showing them ships, sun, development, progress, which they don't have. You are only tempting them. You are creating in them desires. And when they cannot fulfill their desires, they will very likely go on the wrong path to achieve it. So don't show such pictures which are far away from their reality, because their lives slyly, secretly turn in their cramped, their congested slums, going from bad to worse, to even worse than that. The dawn never comes for them, it is always night. On their slag heap, these children wear skins, peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel, with mended glass like bottle bits on stones. All of their time and space are foggy slum, so blot their maps with slums as big as doom. He says that these children are like heap of toxic material coming from the factories. These children are so thin that they are only wearing skins, and you can see their bones through their skin. They have spectacles, but they are broken. They don't have the money to get them repaired or to buy new ones. All of their time, all of their space, all the time they spend in the foggy slums. So if you want to show them pictures, maps, show them pictures of slums which show destruction. That they will understand. They won't understand the pictures you are showing. Unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs break open till they break the town. Now in this stanza he is positive, hopeful, and optimistic. He says that the plight of these children can change if people at the helm of affairs lend a helping hand. The governor, the inspector, the visitor, who are the policy makers, if they want, their lives can change. And if their lives change, then this map that is shown on the wall, it will become their world. And their world, which is the which is the slum, which is shut upon their lives like catacombs. Catacombs used to be underground graves where people were buried and forgotten. So the slum children are like that only. The slums are like catacombs. But if important people help, they will come out of these catacombs and they will also break open. They will come out of there and they will go into the town, into the cities, and they will join the mainstream and show the children to the green fields and make their world run azure on gold sands and let their tongues run naked into books, the white and green leaves open, history theirs, whose language is the sun. And he says that show the children a bright future, give them opportunities, let their world also be full of promises like the golden sand, and let them get educated, let them delve into the books, let them read. Then their potential will also surface and they will also achieve great heights. And then they will also be contributors in the making of history. They will shine like the sun and they will write history in future. So he ends on a positive note.